What's going on, Jam Fam? And welcome back to the gaming station. So we got another podcast going. Today we got Ro Shorts on. What's going on, Ro?
Hi, it's good. Glad to be back.
Hey, man. You know, we love having you on the channel. All my fans are big fans of yours. So, you know, it's just great to have you on as always. How's the channel doing?
Good as ever. Slow down a bit, but still love putting out videos.
Yeah, for sure. Shorts are now starting to get a little watered down now, but of course, you know, you still bring high quality content every time you put one out. So not surprised that you keep going. You're still successful with it.
Yeah, no, it's really fun for sure. I don't think I'm stopping anytime soon.
I don't blame you. So far, how are you feeling about this update?
It's different, put it that way. I don't think it was like anyone else was thinking. You know, we all thought wars, but it's leagues. And the progression system especially is what I'm interested in.
Yeah, I think that's probably the biggest takeaway for me is that now none of us, I shouldn't say none of us, but, you know, most of us are not capped anymore. So now we're all back down to having to worry about, you know, if this person's level 11 and has both their gears running, now I have to find a way to play around that and beat them.
Yeah, no, I think this is, and a lot of people have been saying this is the first time this game has been a little bit pay to win.
Yeah, you know, I still don't think it's as pay to win as a lot of people are letting on. Sure, gears do give you a slight advantage, but even when you max out both gears, I don't think it's that big of an advantage where you can't win a matchup, even if you're just like level 9. Maybe if you're level 7, because then you have a 4-level difference, but I still think you can win most of your matchups if you play right.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's still not a game where, you know, you can keep on buying attempts or keep on buying experience or whatever. You know, there is a point where even when everyone's maxed out, then it is just down to how good you are. And then you've kind of got a leniency, like you're saying, maybe 4 levels is when it starts to get a little bit more difficult, but then you've got people who are doing rank 25 power 1 still, which is just skill. So it shows that if you are good enough, you will not have too much of a problem with this update.
Yeah, skill and a little bit of teaming, right?
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
But yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not something like Clash Royale where you can spend $10,000, still not max out your account, and still be losing games because you're 1 or 2 levels shy of just being under that mark, you know?
Yeah, no, I think there's a little bit much of an exaggeration from the community here about it. I think everyone will settle into it within a few months.
How are you feel? I know you personally weren't a fan of gears when they first were announced. How are you feeling about them now?
I'm glad that they don't make a huge difference. It's more minor differences that you probably won't notice unless you're really looking for them. I'm glad they're here because it does add a little bit more detail to the game. And a lot of people have been maxed out for a few years now, and yeah, you get the occasional star power, but everyone knows how to play against them. Whereas these gears, you've got 5 options to choose from. Then you can choose 2 of those 5, which adds a whole lot of need to have quite a bit of an awareness of what the other person might be playing. So that kind of gives more of a detail to the game, which I'm glad to see.
Do you feel like the gears are done well for this first edition of them? Because I expect us to get more eventually. I'm personally not a fan of most of them. I feel like either two of them are not really good, being the health and the resistance one, and then I feel like speed is very situational. You don't want to use that on all maps. And then the only 2 that I really am a big fan of are shield and damage. What do you think about them?
I actually can disagree with you on that, especially on the health one, because I play Frank a lot, right? And
right.
If I use my attack, it keeps me still. So the health one is actually going to kill me 200 every single time I attack with Frank, which is so useful. Like, I've got that gear maxed out already for my Frank just because of that. I love it.
I guess that's the one. I think throwers and Frank benefit from health a lot, but other than that, I don't really see a huge use for it personally. But yeah, I feel like most brawlers are just going to prefer damage and shield and just call it a day, which I don't know if everyone's experiencing this, but it seems to be the hardest pieces of gear to get. You know how you need those gear pieces and then the scrap to upgrade to unlock the gear. It seems like those are the stingiest ones to get, at least in my experience.
I've got quite a few shields and more damage. I got 5 shield from 1 mega box. I was quite happy.
Wow, that's a lot.
I know. I forgot to screenshot it. I was so annoyed. But yeah, I've managed to max out my shield and my power on a few brawlers already.
Mm-hmm. Well, This podcast isn't supposed to be focused around gears. So let's move on to the main focus of this podcast, and that's going to be how we're feeling about Club Wars now after basically the first week of it being done, or Club League. Sorry, I keep calling it Club Wars. I cannot fix that. But anyway, how we're feeling about Club Leagues after the first week. Overall, are you a fan of it, or is there like improvements that you see need to be done?
A lot of improvements that need to be done. It's a good first product. I wish we'd gotten this a year earlier. No, there's no reason why we shouldn't have had something to do with clubs within the first few years of game being released. I think we'd have added a lot more, but as it is now, I think I'm glad it's here. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I mean, things like the ranking up system. It's exactly like Power League, which it seems a little bit lazy to me, and also like it's going to take a lot of time. Because our club, I think, is going to rank up to Bronze 2, and if we only rank up one rank every single season, which is 1 week, it's going to take 30 weeks to get to the very top rank, which is well over half a year. So in my opinion, that's going to be a little bit slow, and I think people are just going to be losing a little bit of interest by the time they get there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and especially considering that we all have we all get worse rewards until we get into at least Diamond, right? Like Diamond's going to be like where people average out. So I feel like having everybody start at Bronze 1 and not taking total trophy count into consideration when placing everybody, I think that was a big mistake on.
Yeah, 100%, because I don't know about you, but in the clubs that I'm in on all of my different accounts, we're all facing other clubs who have got 0 points pretty much, which is a huge mess, because for those clubs that are just starting out, they're going to have such a big disadvantage just for the fact they decided to make a ballsy move and make their own club and try build a community. I think that that's really going to upset a lot of players who, aren't at the very top end of this game, which will just make it even harder for those players who are starting out to progress. So yeah, if they had just done like a ranking system, like let's just say if you got 500,000 total points, trophies in your club, then you'll start off in Gold 1, and then if you got like 1 million, you'll start off in I don't know, like Diamond 3 or whatever. That would have been much better, but the way they've done it now, it's gonna take forever for people to progress quite a bit.
Yeah, it definitely stigmatizes people who are trying to make their own club and build their own community amongst their club. Like if I were to start a club and I'd only get like a dozen people or so to join, it would be almost impossible for me to climb out of probably. You figure the inactive people are going to stay within Gold 1 or Bronze 1, Bronze 2, so it'd probably take me a long time to dig my way out of the Bronze leagues, just because we don't have that many active people. So it definitely discourages people from making their own club.
Yeah, absolutely, especially because anyone who's out there looking to join a club, they're not going to want to join a club that's like Bronze 1 or Bronze 2, which is going to discourage more and more people from wanting to make their own club, like you're saying. So I think they've kind of screwed up a little bit here.
How do you feel about there only being an option to play the single games and the Power League games, or the power matches?
I don't think it's too bad, because the single games do change each week, each day within the week. But obviously, we are always going to be playing the power matches in my club because they give you the more points. It's like 1 or 2 more points for each match, which kind of gives a more wider range of what game mode you're going to be playing. Kind of a bit of a risk as well. Like if you're going to Power League or whatever, you don't know what you're going to be playing. Maybe you're bad at one mode, so it's a bit risky. If you guys out there just start playing Power League, and then go into Club League, you'll immediately see the similarities in it. So it's all right, I suppose, but I think if they gave us one more mode, I think it would be absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I think my biggest complaint is that it doesn't make sense to ever play singles. Like, even if you're playing with randoms, and it doesn't make sense to play the single matches, because losing a single match, you only get 1 point towards your league, where if you lose a power match, you still get 3, which I believe is the same amount for a win in the actual the single queue. Or the single game.
I think it's 5 for a win in a single game. I'll double check now because it's up right now. But yeah, it's definitely better to go for the. Okay, so no, it is actually only 3. Yeah, that's crazy. No, for sure. Yeah, I think I mean, the only reason that you'd go for the single game is if you're really confident on that map on winning and you aren't on Power League kind of style. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's to me the way you skew the points like that, it doesn't even make sense to even bother offering the single matches because there's no, like I said, if you're gonna get 3 points for losing in a power match, you and get 3 points for winning in a single match, you might as well just play the power match, even if you don't think you're gonna win, because you're still gonna get the same amount of points, even if you do win in the single match.
It's not quite the same because it's 2 tickets to play the power match, but it's still, and it's only one for the single match, but it's still definitely better to go for power match. Yeah.
Right. And I mean it gets your games out of the way. You still get the same amount of points. So I feel like the way they have it weighted doesn't make any sense to me. So speaking of the tickets, how do you feel about how we only get 4 tickets a day and we can only play 2 power matches or 4 single matches every day?
Well, you can always get the golden tickets, which are either star points or gems.
Hey man, that was supposed to be my next question, all right, man? But anyway.
Oh, dude. Yeah, no, I think it's good because people who don't have a lot of time can hop on. It doesn't take forever. That's gonna give you more club participation because a lot of people just won't start if they think, oh, I don't have long enough to do a lot of grinding. But hey, okay, I've only got to do 2 matches. Let's just do that while I'm waiting for the bus. You know, it gives you a lot more chance of actually getting everyone involved, which I'm very happy with, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point, is that, keeping the number of games low to get all your points does make it so that everybody can make sure they get their points in. But I just personally feel like only 2 matches a day is kind of, it's just a little disappointing, especially if you lose those 2 games. Like yesterday I had to play with randoms and it was horrible. I got queued up with some people who picked like a level 4 Edgar and like a level 3 Ruffs or something like that. It was horrible. But anyway, I lost both my matches and I only got 6 points for it. And I guess only playing those 2 matches kind of made me feel like I let my club down a little bit, even though we're stopping the rest of the competition at the moment.
Yeah, no, I suppose it is a case of, do you want to be playing a lot? Like we do have all these other modes as well, though. Like, okay, we've got this new Club League. I want to be playing it all the time. But I think once you get used to Club League, if they had a style where let's say you do 10 games instead of 2, within a few months, you're going to get tired of doing 10 games every day if your club isn't, let's just say, doing really well or really close. So I think long term, doing 2 matches every couple of days is nice. But I think at the moment everyone's just kind of eager to play more and more and more, which might die down, or they might change it. They might the devs might say, oh, hey, the community wants us to add more to it. Let's give them 3 games instead, which would not be a bad thing at all, I don't think. As long as they don't start increasing it to like 10 or 20, then that would be just a bit far,
Yeah, I agree. It shouldn't be something that you can grind all day long, but I would just say that a few more matches would be nice. But to your point, I guess it does help avoid burnout just a little bit. So I guess from that perspective, I guess I'm a fan of it.
Yeah, and you're talking about losing and feeling like you let your club down. I suppose that kind of exaggerates and encourages the importance of trying to play with your club mates, which obviously as well gives you even more points. But it's not always possible, as I'm sure you found out yesterday, or whatever it was. But that kind of tries to get your community more involved, your club more involved with coordination and communication of what actually is going to do. Because like in my club, I've tried to make sure that as many people as possible have someone to play with. So like I've got my own team, a few others have friends they already played with. They're just going to continue with the club league. But it's kind of a case of, if your club isn't very high up, you're not going to be bothered about trying to find someone to play with, and that kind of makes it a little bit more difficult, I suppose.
Yeah. To your point about making it so that it encourages you to play with your teammates, because randoms are actually horrible in this game, like we all know. I do agree that there should be a reason to have to play with your clubmates, and then giving you the extra incentive of not having to play with randoms and giving you bonus points to play with your clubmates. It is very good points, and it also gives you a chance to build relationships with these other players, and then possibly maybe you guys start pushing actual trophies together, or you start playing Power League together. So I do agree it is very good to actually give you a reason to actually want to play with your clubmates. So let's circle back to golden tickets. I know you already mentioned them, but I kind of cut you off on golden tickets because I wanted to talk about this a little bit more. Do you feel like they are as pay to win it as everyone was letting on, or do you feel like it's just another feature to give you a chance to make up the ground a little bit?
100% just another feature. I never understood why everyone was so worried about it. Like when I was doing my live reaction to Brawl Talk, everyone in the chat was like, "Oh my word, this is so pay to win. It's gonna cost so many gems." And I'm like, guys, you can literally buy four tickets for only 250 star points, which you can easily get from Power League. And people kept on going on about it. Oh, it's gonna be so pay to win. It's not at all. 250 points once every week is not very much at all. That's only 1,000 a month. I believe Power League is 2 months, so that's only spending 2,000 out of your like 8,000 or 10,000 star points. It's not a lot at all, and you might not even have to use them if you're doing well. So I don't think it's a problem. It's not really pay to win. It's just a little bit of a help if you're doing badly.
Yeah, I agree. The hard cap that you can only buy 4 a week, that definitely mitigates the quote unquote pay to win aspect of it. Because if you could buy unlimited, then yeah, sure, you can argue that it's it's pay to win, because then all these people are just going to grind Power or Club League until they're absolutely the top dogs. But the fact that everybody could only buy 4 every week, that definitely caps it there. Then they also gave everybody the option to be able to buy these with power points. So if you want to spend your power points, if you need to spend your power points to get these, then for sure, everybody has the option to. And then, like you said, if you're not losing, you don't even need to pick them up because there's no point. You don't get any extra benefit for earning more club trophies. As long as you participate and you do all your runs, you get the same amount of points,
That's absolutely right. As I've been looking at it, I was hoping that it would be some sort of like an added bonus, like however many. Let's just say if you're 50 points ahead, you'd get an extra few coins, but it's nothing like that. We're in the third day. We're 204 points. Second's only 16 points, but we're only getting 91, and second are getting 86. It's kind of like, okay, we're doing amazingly, but we're only getting a 5 coin club coin advantage. So it's kind of like, okay, I feel a bit unrewarded, but I think once we get higher up, when it starts getting closer, people are going to value it a bit more.
Yeah, once you start playing teams that are other clubs that are actually a lot more competitive, then for sure you're going to actually want to consider using your golden tickets on the third day, depending on how close everything is. If you and your team can actually clutch out a few more wins to try to get you guys over the hump before you get downgraded or whatever, that's when it's really going to make a difference. But as I said, everybody has access to them. So, if you want to make that call your own, then for sure you have the option to.
Yeah, I mean, like yesterday, one of my club mates was almost at the end of the day, and they hadn't done it with anyone yet. So I just picked up 4 tickets and did it with them, just to secure a few more points. I suppose I didn't really need to, and I'm sure we would have won anyway. But it's just a nice thing to do, and it gives that person a sense of, okay, my club actually cares about doing well and cares about helping me, so I'm gonna stay in this club.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good thing to just be able to play with people who don't have anyone to play with in situations like that.
Yeah, and then back to your points about the star points. It only costing 1,000 star points a month. You said that Power League will cover you on that for very easily, and that's not even considering if you actually push a little bit of trophies. Like if you push half your brawlers to 550 and half to 600, you get 4,500 star points a month. So I mean, that's super easy to do. I can do that. Everybody can do that.
Yeah, no, they definitely give it quite a few ways to get star points these days. And quite a few star points, I would say, because the more brawlers that are being brought out, the more potential star points you can get every season. So I don't think anyone should be worried about how many star points they have. Even if you're getting all the star point skins, I've got quite a few star point skins. I haven't got all of them, but I still have 25,000 star points. I'm gonna be fine. And as long as everyone's not just wasting it all on skins and actually caring about your club, you're gonna be fine.
For sure. So how are you feel? So you already took a peek at the club shop, right? So how do you feel about that?
I am very confused actually, because I'm looking at the club shop now. It's 2,500 for the club skin, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get a maximum of 182 club coins every single week, because you get 91 if your club wins, and if you use all of your tickets, you get an extra 91 personally. So that gives you 182. That's gonna take 20 weeks to get the club skin. No matter how well or how many points your team gets, it's gonna take you 20 weeks. So I don't know if this is a glitch that costs 2,500 to get a club skin, or because before actually it was only 90, and then recently they changed it, so I don't know what's going on there. Might be a little bit of coding error, so we'll have to see. But apart from that, it looks alright, to be honest.
Yeah, that seems like a lot, having to wait 20 weeks to get one of those skins. I know you have your eye probably on that moldy Mike skin just because you have all the other Mike skins, right?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I'm like, I want to get that right now.
But yeah, 20 weeks to get one skin, that seems like really high in my opinion. I feel like maybe 1,000 would be a little bit better because then, it's only, 10 weeks? So you still have to save up for it. But I personally feel like since most people aren't maxed out anymore, they should be focusing more on gears and scraps and probably power points overall with their club points instead of the skins, at least in the short term.
Yeah, I suppose even though if you're looking at the PowerPoint side of things, let's just say you do get the maximum of 182 a week. That's going to give you 300 PowerPoints, which is not too bad if you think about it. But then you're not going to be able to get any coins. You're not going to be able to get any shield. Any gears. You're not going to be able to get any gear points, any scrap. So it's not as much as I was hoping for the club coins. I thought the club coins would have more value than they do, but it's a start for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is something that they could rebalance economy wise. I think just getting the actual currency out there and getting it into our hands and then revaluing it down the road, I think is probably something that might have to happen. But as of right now, like I said, just getting it out there and the initial thoughts on it, or the initial setup of it is important.
Yeah, no, giving players a choice, giving something for them to use and spend stuff on, seeing how it works out for them is definitely a good option. It makes you feel like you've got an easier way to progress, which it is effectively. Maybe not as much as you're hoping for, but it is another way to progress, which is gonna help people out a little bit this update, because obviously it is very gonna take a long time for people to max out. But this club shop will help somewhat, hopefully. Maybe not enough though.
Yeah, maybe as of right now, maybe not enough. So I probably should have asked this before I talked about the club shop. We might cut this, or I might cut this and put it back in the earlier part of the video. What do you think about not having anything to do to contribute to Club Wars every other day? So like, the matches are on what, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, or something like that, or?
Yeah, that's it. Every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday.
All right, so every Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So that means on like Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and Saturday, there's nothing to do for Club Wars. Do you feel like there should be something to contribute to club leagues? Like maybe not having to play club matches, but like maybe completing certain objectives or like some kind of side quest or something like that once a week. Do you think that would be a good system to add, or do you think that we should just leave it as, you only do your 2 matches every couple days?
Club Quest is actually an interesting idea, but I don't think it can affect how many points your team has. If you have like a Club Quest that gives you club coins, let's just say 50 club coins, if you complete, let's just say a really difficult quest like getting 20 wins in 3v3 matches over the week, and you get 50 club coins for that, that'd be quite nice. Something else to do, like you said, on the days that you don't have anything within the club. It's an option, I suppose, that they could look into, but I think for now we have enough to look at and focus on.
So my personal thoughts on this is that their argument about trying to get everyone to be active within club and stuff like that is like their whole thing about this whole club league, right? But like I feel like other than the days that club league's active, it doesn't really do anything to change that aspect of the game. So I feel like giving us something to do with that involves club leagues, even if it's not playing club matches, would be a better step in the direction. So I kind of hope that they add something to do on the off days that club league matches aren't going, just to kind of contribute to that a little bit more.
Yeah, no, I'm hopping onto the game every day, most of the time, and I'm looking at the club league like, okay, I can't wait for another day to start, but I've got to wait another 36 hours because I did it as soon as the new club league day came. Mm-hmm. So it does leave a bit of, okay, I'm basically waiting most of the time. So yeah, if they had something else there that would give the game a little bit more substance, I suppose, a little bit more content, that would make it a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, I just feel like another thing is that they want to reward people for being more active than the more inactive people. Like wouldn't it be something to incentivize people to play with club mates or something like that? Like, say the quest was like play 10 matches with someone in your club or something like that. Wouldn't it give people more incentive to actually stay more active to try to get more rewards than just hopping on, playing 2 matches on the days that Club Leagues is going and then not playing for the rest of the week?
Yeah, no, I mean it definitely would, because you think about it, you can be inactive for one day, come on for 10 minutes, then be inactive for another 2 days, which isn't activity. Okay, it'll say you've been online like 5 hours ago, but you're not actually contributing to the club's total trophies or anything like that.
Yeah, I feel like it doesn't really incentivize people to play consistently more than it just incentivizes them to play just their club league matches. Like if I hop on, play just my club league matches, I get the same amount of points as someone who played all week. You know, they push their brawler to 700, and then like as far as like club league wise, I mean, like if they play all week, they did all their club league matches, and then they continue to play the game, they get the same amount of club league rewards as I do. So I feel like giving something else would contribute to that a little bit, like letting us play or giving people incentive to play a little more consistently. I guess is the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure that is their interest as well, to get people as active as possible. I think they need to find a way that will actually do that properly.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I can be honest, I don't know if a quest is the way to go, because our quest system is kind of trash in my opinion. But you know, that's a topic for a whole nother video. You know, I could go on for hours about how bad our quest system is, but I feel like something would help a little bit. All right. So now, I know a lot of people have burned out of Brawl Stars, especially when we had that big content drought for the last few months. Do you think Club League, as it is right now, is enough to actually save the game? Will it give people a reason to actually come back? Or do you think that we need to take this a little further to actually get it to be as good as it possibly can be?
It needs to be taken further. There's absolutely no doubt about it. The Club League is cool, but it's not going to give people a huge reason to come back. You know, okay, you do a couple matches, you get some coins, you can buy 50 power points. Okay, that's it. That's all it's given you, really. There needs to be something big to work to, I think, within club leagues, because all you've got is like little game progressions. So something, a big goal or something for everyone to try reach is what is needed.
Yeah, I agree, is that, you know, this is a nice step for clubs right now, but it doesn't really give anyone a reason to come back to the game if they were frustrated or if they were burned out of it at all. Like, it's just the same, it's still the same game at its core, which is fine because, you know, the game is designed well, but the problem is that if you were bored of it before, Club Leagues isn't going to really give you a huge reason to come back, because like you said, the rewards are just to kind of compensate for the increase of the cap, and other than that, it's like, you know, you could join a new club and meet some new people, but that's about it. You know, it's still going to be the same game at the end of the day.
Yeah, and for people who weren't as serious about Brawl Stars, even when they were playing properly, they're not going to come back. Like, I had a friend who got to, I think, 15,000 trophies. They stopped playing maybe half a year ago. Saw a Club League update, not interested at all. So they're obviously missing the mark there with trying to get more people to play the game again. But I think they're doing fairly well of getting people to continue to play the game, which is why they needed to do this a year earlier when they had a much bigger player base than they do now.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people have churned out of the game since then, so I agree. I mean, getting it now is better than never, but I agree. Maybe last year would have been much better to actually capitalize on this, but it is what it is. We have it now, so I'm hoping that they take a step forward. Like I said, I'd like to see something added to the off days of Club Wars, just to try to get people to play more consistently and try to give them a little more incentive. And then you can also add more interesting things to the club shop. Like maybe you could buy like gadgets or star powers out of the club shop eventually with club points instead of actually using your gold too, because then that would give us an option to actually save our gold.
I suppose, yeah, but then you're kind of replacing coins at that point, because you can buy coins with club coins. I think that's something to be careful of, because you don't really want to replace the currency that's already there. There should be some uniqueness to each coin. which I guess you still got the skins for coins, the true silver and true gold skins, but then you can get other skins for star points. So if you took away being able to get star powers from the shop and said, okay, club coins can do it as well, coins kind of become a bit useless.
Yeah, fair point. What kind of changes would you like to see added to Club Wars to help make it a little bit better? Like, do you have any ideas personally?
I think they need to give a bigger incentive, a bigger goal to achieve, and it gives you bigger reward. I don't have a specific, this is what I want to see, do it now, it'll help the game so much, I know it will. I just have a sort of feeling that something needs to be added that's going to make it more exciting.
Like I said, I'm just not a huge fan of the off days personally. Like I get that, you don't want to have it going every single day, but having something going every day would be a little bit better. But I don't know. I'm excited to see what they do with it because like you said, this is only the first version of it. So they do need to make some tweaks to it, but just having the bones here is a good step, is a good start.
Yeah, if I'm thinking about it now, I'm just being a little bit critical actually of the team here. No hate towards them, of course. I love their game, but it kind of feels a little bit lazy. You've got a kind of a mix, not a mix of the old two systems, Power League and Power Play. Power Play, you could play 3 matches a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
You practically got that now,
right?
And the new Power League, you have a ranking system where you go. Bronze 1, 2, 3, silver 1, 2, 3, gold, whatever. That's exactly the same as what you've got for club as Power Play. So the fact that they keep on delaying it for what? I'm not quite sure what was going on there. Which is why I was kind of hoping for something bigger because I thought they'd be struggling with something that was so huge and game changing to fit a way to put it in the game. But to me, it just feels like they've kind of copy pasted a few things.
Yeah, that does make sense. I mean, obviously, like coding all the, the club league itself and all the progression, all that's obviously hard. But like you said, like they kind of did just mash Power League and Power Play together and then just slapped it on clubs and called it a day. So I do kind of agree that does seem a little bit lazy. But I'm not gonna hate on it because I do like the idea that of the club league. But I can agree for sure that it does seem a little bit lazy from that aspect.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I'm really happy it's here, and it's definitely a good addition to the game. I'm just being really nitpicky here. Little things that can make the game really good. Back to where it was at one point, which was exciting. You couldn't get off the game.
Right
now, I can very easily just hop off and start watching YouTube.
I was going to say, I fully agree with you because, I'm super critical about this game. Like, I'm probably more critical than most people just because I know how bad games can get if devs get lazy. So every time they do something that I don't agree with, I'm going to say it. So I fully support people coming onto these podcasts and saying what they don't agree with.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I think they're doing all right for now. But if they keep on letting us down a little bit, then I think the game's going to start going downhill quite rapidly.
I agree. I'm not trying to hate on this update at all, by the way. Like, I really like the addition of gears. I like the upping of the progression, and I do like the bare bones, or the bone structure of club leagues. It's just that, like you said, they could do a little bit better with club leagues, and my personal opinion on gears is that like they could add some more things that are a little more universal, but overall they did take a huge step in the right direction with this update, so I'm personally a fan of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Big fan of it as well.
Well, that's gonna do it for all my questions, Ro. Do you have anything you want to add before we end it here?
Play with your club mates, guys. Come on.
Yeah, don't be like me and play with randoms because I can guarantee you it's not gonna go well. I lost both my games with that I played with randoms, and they picked level 3 brawlers. What is that?
I know. I was doing one of the games with my friend, and then one random. They picked the Power 1 Mr. P and went AFK for the whole match. I was so annoyed.
Why? Why do you even queue up?
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, make sure you go sub to Ro. I'm sure you already are because he's got 150,000 subscribers. But make sure you sub to Ro. Make sure you watch all his videos. He does also stream over on his. Is it Ro Live or is it just runs on Water still?
Just run some water.
He does have a second channel where he streams pretty much daily, if not daily, every other day. He does variety gaming over there, so go check out Runs on Water as well. That's his streaming channel, streaming channel. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this one, boys. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.